Hello.
So,
I
dude,
can see you.
can you hear me?
Cannot hear you.
What about now?
I can hear you.
Yay.
You're super laggy though.
Fuck. Let me like walk around and try and find a spot.
Heard.
You're coming through like crystal clear.
Heard. To boost this thing up. Need to get fancy like Andy and Dunn.
Yeah, but even if we're not in the same room, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying like in general, we need to get fancy.
I feel you.
Oh, this ain't fucking working. Ditch that fucking idea. This thing has to be like thickness.
What's not working? I hear you clear.
I'm just trying to get the mic up a little bit,
I got you.
but I don't have anything that's like big enough to stick it on.
What's up, boys?
So, dude.
What's up, Dilly?
Oh, dude. So, bro.
What's up, brother? How's the mountains?
Chilling. No mountains, but it's elite.
You're not in the mountains?
No. I don't got no mountains in Wisconsin.
They don't? I don't fucking know.
I just assume everywhere except Florida has mountains.
Yeah, same.
They got like some big hills.
Oh, okay.
Just gonna do the pod like this.
Big shrimp.
Oh my goodness.
Is that your new shirt? Jesus.
It's an advertisement.
The shrimp shit is fire, dude.
It's one of
So
three.
far.
It's one of the three new ones.
That shit's fucking clean, dude.
Big shrimp and
Yeah, the shirt's sweet.
now we got three of them. We have this one, the Duval baseball one, and then the Duval till we fry. Just picked them up today. They can't keep all our stuff in the shop, man. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
The
them some.
shrimp.
What's
I
that?
went to them 2 days after they released it and they didn't have nothing.
Yeah. They're asking us like, hey, you have any extra inventory that you want to sell us back? And I'm like, sure. Our people are on to baseball season now, or football season.
Football. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had this sweet like a real button down jersey we were gonna do, like one of the like the custom.
Oh.
It was in teal and it says Bold City across the front, and like yeah, it was 95 on the back. They were gonna be sick, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I think we're gonna save them for next year. Like there's
Because it's football season already?
Yeah, I mean, and I think since they're Jag colors and everything, people would still buy them, but I think people are already fired up about Jag stuff. Like we save that.
Yeah.
Save that for like next February, March, when, you know, when the shrimp are about to kick off and people will be, you know, it'll just be something kind of new and fun. We got 3 or I think 4 more hats coming with them, but get this, New Era shut down all their factories overseas because of COVID.
Damn.
So like they aren't making any hats, which is going to back them up until they're not taking any new orders until January of 2022. So I mean, you're going to start seeing like you by the end of the season, you're going to go in the shrimp game and there'll be like 4 hats on the wall. It's going to be crazy. And then, I mean, I think it's going to hit the NFL probably by like mid-season. You go to the Jag game and it'll be like Blaine Gabbert, Mike Mularkey era when like
Shit that they got in boxes underneath the stadium.
I'm saying like when they had like 3 SKUs in the
Yeah.
shop, like
Because no one gave a fuck.
yeah,
A black hat and a teal hat, and that's it.
It'd be like the last days of Wayne Weaver when there was nothing.
Hey, Dillard, when you were outside, your camera was looking better.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find something to prop it up on.
Heard. I gotta keep my shit from coming down. This stupid fucking thing. Oh, hey,
Yeah, that
Jackson.
table outside is where
What's
I
up,
have
dude?
the most elite signal. What's up,
How you
Jack?
doing?
What's up, Jackson?
Shut
What's up, young king? How you doing?
Good.
You ready to get your butt whooped Madden yet or what?
No. You're
He's
gonna.
been running,
Uh,
bro. He's been running from me in Madden for like since I was like 18.
uh,
He's got to get on it. He hasn't been playing Madden lately. He hasn't really been playing many video games, period.
That's good. He's an outside kid. Needs to stay that way.
man's got a baseball game every night. He can't play video games.
Dad's been on them sticks with the Fortnite, though.
Yes, sir.
I always see Bold City Cap on, man.
That's me, man.
I
Well,
know.
y'all gotta come play with me.
I don't play Fortnite. I respect my gaming time.
You got to start your own Twitch, bro, and challenge Zona.
Yeah, dude.
I said,
Bold City
Jackson,
Zona.
Jackson doesn't believe me that I'm a streamer.
Man, you're asking.
Phase Cap, Phase X Cap.
Yeah, that's it.
It's-
No, I told Jackson I was gonna change my name to Daddy Dubs. He's like, "What's your streamer name?" I said, "Daddy Dubs." He said, "No, it's not. I can't find you on Twitch."
I never said that.
All right, go to bed.
See you.
You're ruining the
Later,
jokes,
Jackson.
kid. Go to sleep.
Now, man, your sister's sleeping. Yeah. You got 9 minutes, player. Don't talk back.
Ooh.
Yo, how about my man? What's his name? J Rod gave me a case of this shit just to drink it on here.
Nice. Is it good?
It's not bad. It's not like the best Pilsner in the world, but it's
Yeah.
good. Free beer is good.
I tell you
Pilsner.
what, the only time I've enjoyed it because he's given me, as soon as he found out that I like Pilsners, he was bringing them to the, everything, and I had obviously I had tried them before. I'm like, oh, a local Pilsner, I'm gonna try this. And
Yeah.
I tried it several times. Only time I enjoyed drinking them was for our old man soccer party. Like everybody plays $90 to play in this league, and at the end we've got a fall season and a spring season. At the end of every season, whatever money is left over, they take all of it and they pour it into an end of the season party, and it's just free beer and free wine and free food at like some local establishment. And this year, or the spring party was at North Beach Fish Camp upstairs, and they had that they had the Fish Camp Pilsner on there, and I was like, well, that's free. I'm about to drink it.
I will say,
I had about 6 of them, and I'll tell you this: after like number 4, I started enjoying them.
I will say this, like I've had it before and I don't remember liking it that much, but drinking this one, it's a little better than I remember. I don't know if that's because it was free or what, but
Probably.
it's straight.
Probably. Word up. Dylan, why are you in Wisconsin?
Because this is where the cabin's at. I don't know.
Like, who are you up there with?
Where exactly are you in Wisconsin?
Minong.
I'm sorry?
Minong. Minong.
Oh, so you went to,
Jack
I thought you said
Link's
Wisconsin. You
Jerky.
went to China?
Yeah. I thought that was about to be a D's nuts joke.
Man said I'm in Vietnam. Man said I'm in Vietnam.
Hey, Google the Jack Link's headquarters. That's where I'm at.
That's how I know you're not in a real place.
Here, look, I'll
This
turn the
man's
view
just
around.
vibing, bro. Dilla goes to the most random places. That's beautiful. though.
It's
You up
the-
You up there with family?
yeah.
Okay. How
His
close
family
is
likes
that?
to go to places like in the middle of fucking nowhere.
That's where they live.
How
There's
close
always a
is
lake
that-
too, though.
How close is that to where your mom and pops are living now?
2 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
My parents live on the Mississippi River, which is the border of
That's
Minnesota and Wisconsin.
This motherfucker's all the way up here.
Where'd you fly into?
Minneapolis. I stayed at my parents for a couple days, and then we drove over here. Tomorrow we'll drive home, and then I fly home on Monday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You
Beard's
really-
looking good.
You are for real in the middle of fucking nowhere, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, literally, other than like Milwaukee and Madison, everywhere in Wisconsin's in the middle of
It's the
nowhere.
middle of nowhere. Yeah,
Mhm.
the Wisconsin dells are fun as shit, but other than that, like you said, it ain't nothing out here.
He's like way the fuck up there.
Sally is really caught up on this.
The weather looks elite.
Yeah, the humidity right now is like a clean 40%.
I
It's
can
like
tell, bro.
70 degrees outside.
Your beard is looking just choice right now. I could tell
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good hair day.
Mm.
There's no like humidity
Yeah,
making
you know-
it puff up or anything like that. Yeah. A
Really?
plus beard day.
Good for you.
Dope. We've had 2 boats the whole time. My cousin, they both left today, so they took one of the boats, but we got one of the other boats here. They all just went out on the pontoon right now. Yesterday we had fish fry from all the fish we caught this week. It's fucking fire.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Living the dream, my guy.
Dude, I did a 50-mile ATV ride on like Tuesday. It was so much fun.
You can do that in Jacksonville too, yeah.
Yeah, like down Atlantic Boulevard.
McClendon.
Yeah.
Shoot across 295 Beach Boulevard. You can like make a racetrack.
You're probably gonna die, but you can do it.
Osceola National Forest, bro.
Dumps with the Tebow shirt. I love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
man. I gotta support the claws, man. I'm still mad.
You're still
So-
mad.
I'm still upset.
So we said we're gonna talk Tebow. We're gonna crush Urban, and then we're gonna talk about how Curtis Dvorak was lying on Antoine Bethea. That's it. That's what we're talking about today.
I didn't hear that because I didn't listen to that episode because I've probably talked to Curtis too many times in my life to begin with. So what was
Apparently he said during the 59-yard Scobie kick, he like was talking shit to Antoine Bethea. And like before the kick, he was something about like how I'm gonna catch this or something. He was back there to like the safety that
Because
was gonna
Bethea
catch
was
the
going to
ball.
return it. Yeah.
And he was saying he was gonna return it, and Curtis was like, "No, I'm catching this shit." And
Hey, I
then he
got
said
a
he-
question. though.
And then he said he caught it and he like ran by him and said, "You looking for this?" And like held the ball.
And then
Hey, why
Anton
would
Bethea tweeted out, he was like, the lies people tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, why would Bethea be back there? They were winning, so if he missed it, they would have won.
No, it was tied.
So,
It was tied.
oh, was it tied? I thought
Yeah.
they were about 1. Okay,
No,
that
it
makes
I think it was
sense.
28-28, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I was thinking
it was.
28-27. I thought we won 30-28. I got you. That makes more sense then.
There you go.
you know what's super sad though, bro? Like,
That's a highlight of Jags fandom.
yeah, well, like real though, like for Andy and even Nubz, because how old are you, Nubz?
28, turning 29 in October.
Okay, so maybe like you're on like the older end of that. You still remember some of the other stuff, but like
Right.
for a lot of Jag fans in their like early to mid 20s, the David
But that is a
Garrard Hail
highlight.
Mary, the Hail
Mhm.
Mary, and then that Scobie 59 is
Yeah.
like that's it. There's like people. I'm looking on Twitter and like when Andy cut that clip and put it out there, and just the comments underneath it, like, "Oh my God, one of the best memories ever." And I'm just thinking to myself, like,
Mhm.
I look back
Yeah.
like with Shane.
We were
at, like,
8-8 that year.
Yeah, every period.
But like what sucks is that besides 07 and 17, I have like no fond memories of the Jags. Like 2010 was the best year. Like even then we beat Cleveland. MJD took that screen pass like 70 yards.
It was a fun year, but
Yeah, it was fun,
8-8.
but David Garrard collapsed like he always did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were 1 win away from beating Indy and taking the division, and
And we didn't.
No.
Fuckers.
we lost every single game since then. There was snowing in a game against Washington and we got beat.
Dude, that game was colder than fuck.
yeah.
Dude, I've got a good story about that game. About the
Yeah?
section. Now that you guys sit in the section, like I've got a good story about that one. I don't know. You want me to tell it now, or should we like save it for on air?
Save it, or this could be on air if you want.
Oh, okay. So there were Redskins, like it was kind of more old school days of 124, but like it was Ronnie and Robbie and like all their dudes. And then basically Melissa and I, or maybe a couple other people that we know, but it was mostly just like the old school crew. And Ronnie and Robbie have this buddy named Cheyenne that is just crazy. He's crazy. And there were these Redskin fans. There was like 4 of them sitting in the row, like in front of where I sit. And they were pounding out of this flask all game, just like passing. There's 2 of them were like, just, I mean, they drank the whole big flask of whiskey, like, and they were already lubed up. And everybody's freezing, like huddled together. And something happened in that game where they like started talking shit and all of us were talking shit back. And the next thing you know, the one guy, he's getting squirrely and he's like bowing up to like Ronnie and this guy Cheyenne. And his girl's trying to like push everybody apart. It's always the girls. It's like that lady in the video who throw the Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Like it's always the females. So like she starts like, and then next thing you know, like Cheyenne takes her hand and like smacks it off of it, like cause she was putting her hand like up on him like this. And he's like, boom, and smacks it down. He's like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And the dude goes, man, don't touch my girl. Don't, you know, so he starts like getting more aggro. And next thing you know, it gets broken up. They walk away for a little while. You know, that's probably like in the second or third quarter. Next thing you know, it's like the third quarter, fourth quarter. And the guy, their crew comes back. And we're all like, oh man, because I knew Cheyenne just wasn't gonna let it go, right? I mean, a dude named Cheyenne, he just doesn't let shit go.
Oh,
That's
it's
what
a
I
dude
was
named
thinking earlier.
Cheyenne?
Yeah, it's a dude
Yeah.
named Cheyenne. Yeah.
Oh
I was
shit.
gonna say you know a motherfucker's crazy. when he's
Yeah,
getting called
he's-
Cheyenne his whole life.
He's been through some shit.
He's battle tested, right? Like you
Yeah,
don't grow
yeah.
up with a stripper name.
Yeah.
Like, if you not be battle tested. So my man like he comes back and immediately like all the boys start chirping at him. And so the dude like finally you know, again, the girl starts getting in the middle of it. And like they're like, dude, get your girl away from us. Like this guy Cheyenne's like, and I'm saying to myself the whole time, Cheyenne, do not hit a girl. Please do not hit a fucking female. Do not hit a female. Like, cause you're dumb enough. I shouldn't say that in case he's listening. You know, you're crazy enough to do something stupid like that. And I'm like, please don't let her hit him, because then I don't know what's gonna happen. And she's chirping. I'm trying to break it up. I'm like, guys, come on, man. Like, what, this freaking 8 degrees out here. Like, you get hit in the face, it's gonna hurt even worse. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and
It was
so
cold as hell that day.
next thing you know, like the dude, like the guy grabs his girl and moves her out of the way. And he starts like, you know, nose to nose, like everybody who thinks they're a badass does with Cheyenne. Cheyenne at this point, again, you guys remember how cold it was if you were there, takes his jacket off, takes his shirt off. And it's just like, and he's all tatted up and he's just like, what? He's like, hit me. I dare you. Hit me. And the guy's like, you hit me. You know, they're doing that macho shit.
Yeah.
Finally, the guy says something to Cheyenne that was like real flagrant. And Cheyenne goes, I bet I'm going to do something to you and I bet you still won't hit me. And the guy, and I'm like, at this point, I'm just, oh my goodness.
Y'all gonna suck each other's dicks, or are we gonna fight?
Oh,
What are we
no,
gonna do?
bro. Homie spits in this Redskins face.
Oh.
And he's like, you won't do anything. He's like, what? You, like, watch me. Spits in his face. And I'm just like,
Oh,
I didn't see that part coming. You know, it's like one of those where I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. And frankly, if he gets his ass beat at this point, he deserves it. And but then like next thing you know, the dude like swings at him and it's just like, boom, it's a melee. And his buddies are trying to jump in. We're pulling everybody apart. Dude, I shit you not. Security comes. And this is back in the older days of 124 when it wasn't like a lot of away fans or anything. Security comes and everybody in the section's like, that guy started it. It was all him. It was all him. We didn't do anything. And of course, they're like, bullshit, this guy right here. And like, we just kind of hid Cheyenne behind a few people. And we're like, who? Nobody, man. Everybody's like, you're crazy. Get these people out of here. Get these people out of here. So finally, they all the security, because now he's pissed because he's like, wait a minute, this dude spit in my face. And the safe person's looking at him like, who spit in your face? And we're like, nobody spit. Nobody would do that around here. None of us would ever do that. And we're like looking at him and we're like, how dare you lie, man? You come into our stadium, you start crying, and then you're going to say, you have the audacity to say, it's like the audacity to say that somebody would spit in your face. And he was just like, just going nuts at this point. So somebody next to me goes, hey, officer, check that guy's back pocket. And then they find the flask.
Oh.
They yoke him up out of there. And he's like literally like that dude in the video where the bouncer picks him up. They're like dragging him out. He's kicking and screaming, that guy spit in my face. And all right, so with that said, I don't condone that. That's kind of a bitch move to spit.
They should have looked for the guy with no shirt on when it was 8 degrees outside, who looked like
And the best part was these cats had, you know, God, what year was that? They had some of the dumbest.
2010.
Was it 2010? They
Yeah.
had some of the dumbest Redskins jerseys on too, bro. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember that. It was like, God, I can't remember what they were, but it was just like the most random player that was good in like the early 2000s that nobody remembered. Yeah, they were.
Jason Campbell.
No, I think Jason Campbell was playing that game.
No, it was Grossman.
Was it Grossman? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Got beat by Rex
Yep.
Grossman.
Yeah.
Was that before they got McNabb? Yeah, that's right before they
Yeah.
got McNabb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh my
anyway,
God, we did get beat by Rex Grossman.
Sexy Rexy.
They have
I'm
had
pretty
some
sure-
truly
I'm pre-
horrific quarterbacks.
I'm pretty sure we got beat by Rex Grossman and on multiple teams. So
Oh,
Yeah.
guaranteed. Guaranteed.
He beat us on the Bears too.
that's like Fitzpatrick. You know, he's beaten us on what, like 4 or 5 different teams now?
6 teams, yeah.
45,
yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of him, he's now the quarterback of the Washington football
Washington.
team.
Yeah.
That's right. Didn't Andrew, our boy Andrew Nappy, didn't he go to Washington when y'all went? What was it, 14? Bortles' rookie year. Didn't he want to fight some people in the stands?
You know,
Dude, that game was nuts. There was fights the whole game
yeah.
Yeah.
in Washington. That shit was crazy. We were in
Yeah.
those like steel cage things.
Yep.
They were loud as fuck. We were just minding our own business, and all of a sudden, fists started flying from sections over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. It was just brawling the whole game. I was like, we're already in our ass beat. Relax. Like,
Yeah, chill. Chad Henney's been sacked
'Cause that was the Kirk
27
Cousins-
times.
that was the Kirk Cousins come out game.
Yeah.
Robert Griffin like broke his foot or ankle or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, here comes Kirk Cousins." I was like, "Oh, thank God we got a shot." Motherfucker lit us up.
We
dude.
did not
Every
have
play
a
was
shot.
like big play, big play, big play. I was
Yeah.
like, golly.
That was dude, I've been to some demoralizing away trips. That was among the worst.
Well, that was
I just-
after the Eagles game when we went up 17-0, and we felt like we were competitive and we were going to be all right.
yeah.
And in
Yep.
Jaguar fashion, we went to Washington and got beat by
Well,
37.
that's because what was it? There's Luke McCown.
No, that was Chad Henne.
I guarantee
Chad,
nobody got their ass
yeah.
beat like Chad Henne that day.
Yeah, Chad Henne got sacked like 10 times.
Yeah.
I just remember walking back to the BCB buses, and I was just fucking roasting everyone
We
on that
were.
long walk back. Yeah.
Yeah, we were. We were. That was brutal, man. That one, San Diego. So I don't think any of y'all went to San Diego, but that was to travel literally completely across the country to catch that was
I remember that game because that was after the Packer game when we were competitive again. Looked like we had a chance. Then we went to San Diego and got beat by 30.
How do you remember that shit with how much
40.
alcohol?
I think it
you
was
drink?
by
That's
like
crazy.
40 something. And it was see the problem with that era of away games was when we would lose and get blown out, it wasn't even like competitive in the beginning.
Yeah, it was like you
No.
get a blocked punt in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was over.
It was literally like you walk in the stadium, someone just pantsed you and then kicked you in the nuts. Like that's how the game started. Like it was, like as soon as you enter, you couldn't even go get a beer. It was just
No,
like,
it was a repetitive like nut kicking too, like over and
they
over
didn't
and
stop.
over
They didn't
again.
stop. San Diego, I remember because made by Tim and I, Pat didn't go on that trip. So like we literally flew out a few days earlier and we ended up, for that one, we threw a tailgate, which is never easy to do when you're that far away, but we had some logistics on our side, like knowing a good taco vendor and all that. And the other angle of that too, is there's plenty of parking around old Qualcomm or whatever it was. So we ended up, throwing the tailgate. So like we landed, snagged some In-N-Out burger and drove to Target and then like this Total Wine type of store. And we went and bought a couple of pop-up tents. We had some of the BCBLA guys bringing pop-up tents down. We did all the beers. Remember how we did in Nashville a couple of times where we did them in the big plastic tubs? That was where we came up with that idea because it was like we can't bring coolers, like we're not bringing coolers across country, so that was easy. So we did that anyway. So we do this whole thing, busting our ass. We got a 15-passenger van just loaded up with tailgate supplies, and just Tim and I. And we walk into that game, and that happened. So I spent literally, I think like early third quarter, I just walked out, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to Qualcomm, but like I walked out. We were on the upper deck. And on their concourses, you can be on the concourse and not know a single thing about what's going on in the game. They don't have a single TV. There's not a single speaker, like anything. So it was great. I just sat out there and started like tweeting and just hanging out, looking at the beautiful Southern California skyline. And I was just like, nope, I have no clue.
The only stadium with less amenities is the Coliseum in Rome. Than Qualcomm. And
That
bitch
is why
half
they
fallen over.
moved.
Yeah.
And it's better. Hey, the Coliseum in Rome is better built too.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be there way
Facts.
longer.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. It's been crazy. Well, are we like unofficially kicked off on this episode here?
I guess that's how we intro that we're going on a road trip soon, right?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna like go ahead and give an update on that.
Yeah,
So,
let's hear it. We're all fucking
Please,
curious.
because my DMs are filled with these.
Yeah.
Same.
Us as
I
the-
don't
us
know
as the
nothing,
middle-
people.
us as
I
the
promise
unofficial-
you.
Us as the unofficial like middle management where people come to us because they don't know you. They're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Where's the tickets? Are we buying tickets? I don't fucking know, dude.
I don't know what to do. Do I buy them now? Do I wait for BCB? Bro, I don't know.
yeah. So it has been a nightmare. I'll give the update. And so first and foremost, Houston, hoping to have everything ironed out very soon. First things first. So no problem getting tickets to the Astros game, ironically, so that's fun. That's been locked away for a while. We'll have plenty of seats if people want to go to that Friday night. Saturday evening, the night before party, locked in, good to go. We're doing it pretty cool. We're doing it at BCB Houston's kind of the bar where they watch all the games. It looks like a really cool spot. They'll have college football on all afternoon and evening that Saturday night. So we'll have that. The difficult part has been getting tickets. Just, you think the Texans, the fans aren't that fired up. It's not that easy to get tickets in the lower level that are kind of together, but we're going to have about 50 of them in 1 to 2 sections. They're mostly going to be pairs. So if you've got a crew of, 4 or 6 or whatever, sometimes on these trips we can accommodate big crews and we'll slot them in. If you want to sit in that section with a bunch of Jag fans and BCB people, you're going to have to pair it up. You're going to have to pair it up. Love you too, man. You're going to have to. Yeah, this guy's jabroni over here just talking the whole time, probably getting picked up on the microphone. I'm recording a podcast. I'm working here. But anyway, so, minimal tickets. And we're doing that for a couple of reasons. 1, it's not that easy. 2, they're expensive. 3, just with COVID, we just kind of made the conscious decision this year with these trips that we're going to focus more on kind of pregame stuff and other parts of the trips and let people because some things I can refund people on. If we go out and I buy a block of 150 tickets and we sell them all, and then all of a sudden they don't allow people to come into the stadium or something, which Houston, it's in Texas, the only state that's more fucked up than we are. So we're probably good on that end. But Cincy, who knows what could happen up there. So anyway, we're just trying to eliminate as much possibility for, bad things happening on that end. So lastly, and the whole reason this whole trip is being drug out and we haven't been able to launch any of the sales yet. One of the main reasons I never wanted to go to Houston for an away trip, and I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast, and I know I have in our conversations, but one of the reasons is because they have so many noon kicks, and trying to plan a pregame party with a noon kick is not easy. And they don't have really good, it's not really conducive to set up an away tailgate there because the lots are all owned by the team. And first of all, a lot of the lots around the stadium that are owned by the team don't open up until 2 or 3 hours before the game. So it's not conducive. So
it's literally for parking. It's not for tailgating. Yeah,
they have a couple of areas where there's some big tailgates that are thrown, but they're Houston Texans tailgates. We don't want to go to that. Yeah. So, luckily we're well versed and experienced in doing the bar gates. With that said, it has not been easy to find a bar. There are very few bars around the stadium there at Reliant. The ones that are total shitholes, not even in a cool, Pete's or Ginger's way. Just places that I couldn't, in good conscience, I wouldn't want to bring a couple hundred people there and actually take their money for going there. So, we're forced to go a little bit more up towards Midtown and downtown. again, most bars don't open at 8, 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So we're having to find places that are willing to get staff and open up early for us. Hasn't been that easy to do. Had one place that for the past 2.5 months, I thought was going to be the place. And within the last week and a half, 2 weeks, when I tried to just confirm everything, they started getting squirrely and they've kind of bailed on us at this point. So now I've been forced to go and try and find another place. So with all that said, I still plan on finding us a place. I'm talking to one right now that looks like it will probably work out. The location of the venue, the style of the venue isn't as cool as the other one. The other one was going to be really awesome, kind of like Denver, but it'll be a pub with breakfast tacos to fill your belly and a couple hours of drinking before we all hop on the metro rail and ride to the stadium. So
before we go watch Gardner Minshew play quarterback.
Yes, before we go watch Gardner. It's only right to start the season. We've done it before for the second game of the season. So it's only right to do that. So yeah, you'll be able to slam a bunch of beverages before watching Gardner start the season opener. So anyway, that it's a long story just because I know you guys have like jokingly said that a bunch of people have been asking y'all, and obviously that's the last thing that I want for all my buddies to have to deal with. But a lot of people have been asking me and us and all of our Bold City accounts. So, wanted to be sure to give a little bit of the background on all of it. That's where everything lays right now. Hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll have solidified the bar gate and everything like that. So with that said, if you're listening to this and you're holding off on getting game tickets because maybe you thought you wanted to get them with BCB, I think the 50 are going to go pretty quick. So if you're one of those people, which I know there's a lot of them out there that like to just have all your ducks in a row and don't want to wait any longer, feel free, go snag some tickets to the game. We're going to be in the lower level. The first thing everybody asked me what section are you going to be in? I'm not positive yet. I know it's lower level. I think it's near the end zone. Working with the ticket broker, I give them parameters. They come back and a couple weeks before the game, they send me all the tickets. So, so that's that one. Cincy, kind of similar. It's been hard to find a bar gate. A lot of these places, I don't have a lot of connections, and I've never been to Cincinnati myself. I've spoken with a lot of people that live in the area that have been giving me ideas. What we're running into in Cincy is a lot of the bars around the stadium are not big enough to accommodate 100, 200 plus of us before the Thursday night game. So still holding out hope that we'll find a good spot there. We're going to have plenty of tickets for Cincy, and they're actually pretty affordable considering it's a Thursday night game and it'll be lower level. So we'll have that one.
Jacksonville North is going to have some tickets available, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Sounds
Only
like
place that has less fans than us consistently.
I will say this: I'm fired up to go up to Cincy. It feels weird to say, but I've never been. I've heard in all the research that I feel like now I know every bar in downtown because I've literally been looking at all of them. And there's lots of just cool looking places all around there, and even across the river in Kentucky. So I'm
if it is like Jack's, we fucking love Jack's.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It looks way better than our downtown. So
downtown does it.
And so does the trailer park next to the Regal on Beach Boulevard.
Oh, this place looks lit. There's less homeless people.
They've got 3 gas stations. This is no. So same thing with Cincy. Obviously, Cincy, there's a few more weeks after the Houston trip, so we maybe have a little bit more time with that one. But hasn't been easy, man. I don't know. It's a weird world out there right now. With
weird
COVID.
Times we're living in.
Yeah.
So, but apologies to everyone who I know normally we've got the stuff well before now launched. I have not stopped working on it. I would communicate with everyone if we were going to cancel everything. I don't want everybody sitting around waiting for us and then cancel it. But
it's also worth noting that Pat had a baby. So that's.
Well, yes and no. Pat doesn't do anything for the trips. But,
yeah, but for his part,
Yeah. Actually, that's not true. Pat, when I send Pat all of the details. Pat builds
He
the
makes a
pretty
website.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he helps ship out all the tickets and stuff. So I love you, Pat. I'm just kidding. But for the
Harder to build websites when you got a little one.
for the planning and the logistics, I got 2, bro.
I know,
got no
but
sympathy for anybody.
A single guy versus having a new baby, it's harder. It's
Who's
up
the
a level.
single guy?
Like, okay, you don't have a baby to having a baby. It's a little harder. You know what I'm saying? Pat's
is.
not used to it yet. That's all.
I got you. Well, you know what?
I'm
You're
just
giving
saying.
Pat a lot of credit here. I need Pat to go call some bars in Cincinnati. If you're listening, Pat, help us find one. No,
Where you at, Made by Tim?
I know. Made by Tim. So the other question we keep getting is, when are y'all launching memberships? And we're like, dude, we're working on it. Listen, Tim's like the creative genius. I try and rush him sometimes, but this is the 10th year. This is the 10th year of BCB. He's taken this design for the 10th year logo and the shirt very, very seriously. So people, you can't rush the genius. He committed to me earlier this week on the super secret BCB Zoom call that he is working on it and that he hopes to have it maybe done this week. So
Nice.
Whoa, breaking,
Okay.
breaking.
when he's done, we'll launch.
He couldn't in good faith launch it while Tim Tebow is on the roster. I think that's what it is.
Hey, don't let Joe Sherbert's wife hear this. She's gonna get pissed. She had it
Oh my God.
Hey, while we're at it though, I'm gonna pour one out for Joe Sherbert.
Yeah.
I mean,
RIP, man. That guy was great. We won a lot of games with him.
I feel like our nicknames though. It's
Starting to shrink. We need some new ones.
Yeah, we definitely need some new ones.
We're probably gonna lose another one here in a couple of weeks, right?
Who's that?
Well, it's not really a nickname, but a guy who never earned his name, Tavin.
Who's that?
That guy ain't making it, is he?
I don't know.
I think he's making.
I don't know who
team.
you're talking about, dude.
You think he's making it, Dilla?
Yeah, for sure.
Why?
Because they're running a 3-man front and he weighs fucking 300 pounds and he can get off the line and he's a gator and he already cut Tim Tebow. You got to keep another one around.
Oh my God.
Well, I was gonna say I think I agree with Dilla, but it wasn't necessarily for that exact reason. It was more along the lines of they just don't have a ton of guys who are gonna play that position that he
Right.
So
He can also play inside and outside, which is going to give him, even if he's not good at it, I shouldn't say he can play anything. He can occupy the space inside and outside.
Duval Doom is a free agent right now. Let's sign him up and cut Taven Bryan and put him in there. He can fill a space and we'll be fine.
This is how a bold take Hall of Famer joins the podcast right here.
I mean, Taven Bryan is awful.
Hey,
Dude,
shout out to
he showed up
Doom.
to
He's been
camp
fucking
with-
killing his Peloton. Hey,
Yeah,
be
no
real. Doom's been
shit.
killing the Peloton. He's probably fucking better than Taven.
That's what I'm saying. He's in better shape than Taven Bryan. Taven Bryan showed up with a black eye.
I heard Duval Doom gave him the black eye.
He wants his spot.
For those who are not online, extremely online, we're joined by bold take Hall of Famer, simply known as Nubz. So
Hi.
and
I think I'm
for-
the first Hall of Famer to be on here too, so that's exciting.
Cap, do you have a gauntlet for Nubz or no?
no, not
Okay.
not this evening.
So
I mean, I can come
officially,
up with one on the spot.
the rule is going to be officially that if you're a Hall of Famer, you don't have to run the gauntlet. You earned it.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
If
like
you had
that?
a gauntlet though, you were running it.
But I
If you
will
had one,
answer
you
any
were
question you have. I will answer though.
Yeah. That's because any Hall of Famer would. That's how
Yeah.
I might have
Yeah.
to come up with a few just for the lightning round.
you can't
There's
make, you can't make the Hall of Fame without being willing to answer any question on
there's
it.
a few from back in my day that I will not answer, but
I got one
everything
right
else-
now off the cuff. Here we go. True
Okay.
or false? True or false? J Nubz and Jason Caruso are Eskimo brothers.
With
See,
Andre
that's-
Branch and Luke
what-
Jokel.
When I said from a few back in my day that I would not answer, that is what I was talking about.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know what you're referring to. Yeah,
Hey,
I've
let's
never
just
been.
jump into it. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about our dumbass head coach and the dumbass quarterback that's maybe going to play more than he should.
I'm really worried about Urban Meyer. I'm not gonna lie.
All
He
right,
might be.
hold
He
on.
might be really stupid.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Wait a minute. All right, let's reset here. We're jumping into it. Topic number 1 for this episode, preseason. Urban Meyer, Josh, aka J Nubz. Please elaborate on why you're really worried about Urban Meyer.
Well, I just feel like he takes no accountability. Like in his press conference, everything he's like, well, I haven't been here before. I'm leaning on Trent and my coordinators and this, that, and the other. And then Gardner Minshew's taking snaps with the ones on August 19th. Like, I'm just a little stressed out about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not super worried, but
And
at
I
the
mean,
same
just
time,
to add to Nubs in terms of like leaning on the coordinators, the only reason why Minshew is like still, held in the same capacity that he's been is because Darrell Bevel has a boner for him, which is
Really?
extremely weird.
Is that a Dilla bomb?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if that's not known, but that's, yeah.
I raise your hand if you didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I will say it's funny because, like Nubs said, Urban keeps saying, "Oh, I'm leaning on my coaches. I'm listening to my coaches. I'm listening to my coaches." And then I listened to Bevel talk today, and he was like, so non-committal. It's like, "Yeah, we'll probably start Trevor. I don't know. Coach will answer that better than me." It's like, you guys are bullshitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so I think there's a couple aspects here with Urban. Like Nubs, you've sort of uncovered the fact that you seem like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you seem like the fact that he is still kind of using that crutch of I'm new,
I don't
I'm
know
still
anything.
figuring it out. Like that bothers you.
Yeah. Which is fine in, February to July, but we're late August now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play fucking
Let's-
real football in 3 weeks
Yeah.
or something like
Let's
that.
get it going.
Yeah. So I mean, the other aspect of this, right, is the real elephant in the room, and that's how much or how pissed should anyone be right now, or frustrated or scared, any of those adjectives, that, like Nubs just said, on August 19th, they're still running this dog and pony show of a QB competition, right?
Mhm.
That's the real question, because I go kind of back and forth myself, where I'm like, this is stupid. If you just use regular old fashioned logic, he should be getting as many reps as possible, right? Like that, like throw the faux QB competition, because we got to, we're trying to prop up this whole idea of compete, Gus Bradley, left and right, like we're trying to do that. Throw that out the window at this point, right? And I think anybody who's saying that has a really, really valid argument. I agree. There are moments when I read a tweet like today, and it says that they were still splitting reps, and I drop an F-bomb either silently or out loud. But then there's also moments where I'm like, big picture, Trevor's first year, hopefully he's the real deal. He's going to be here for a long time. Should we really be spending that much energy being pissed off about this? What do you think about that? Yes or no?
So, I think for me personally, until last week when we saw him in a game situation, the whole QB competition made sense, because we're not there. We don't see what's happening in the building. And even at the practices, like, they do all the fun shit on field 30. You can't see anything anyway. You know what I mean? So, like, I understand there's going to be some stuff that we don't know. So you just give him the benefit of the doubt. But then when we see him play, I mean, Gardner Minshew looked like he had never played fucking football before. And Trevor Lawrence, I thought, was great. And I don't know if you guys saw this really cool guy on the timeline who I found recently broke down Trevor's performance. And he was explaining how Trevor was going from his reads. And even on his very first third down as a pro, he went through 3 reads and found Marvin Jones on his third read after going through read 1, read 2, which was an option route. And he knew that neither of them were open. And he comes back and finds Marvin Jones that he double caught the ball, and we got a first down. And that alone lets me know that Trevor Lawrence is seeing it quicker than Gardner Minshew is, who still looks like they're a deer in the headlights when there's 2 safeties back. And I mean, the moment I was completely done with Gardner Minshew was on that deep ball where he like crow hopped.
Oh,
Throw
don't
the
even
ball fucking 40 yards.
Don't get me started. Like I legitimate. I think I tweeted it, but I also like I said it out loud. And it was more in like it was half amazement, half being bewildered, and like even Jackson's. So Jackson now who plays a ton of baseball, he understands what a crow hop is, right? So I literally said out loud, I was like, "Holy crap!" He just full on crow hopped and couldn't throw the ball from there to
the yard.
To the end zone.
The end zone.
He
Like it
threw
wasn't even near the end zone. And Jackson
No.
looked at me. Jackson looked at me. He goes, "Dad, with a mini football, I think I could maybe throw it that far." And I'm like, "Let's not get carried away." But like,
But
Get
yeah,
close, dude.
and it looked like it was bad mechanics, poor form, like everything about it. If he would have just thrown the ball naturally, he would have thrown it much further. It was
Didn't even
everything
crow
about
hop
it.
right, bro. He like jumped
no,
up
yeah.
and chucked it.
He went off his like front foot and like tried. He looked like Derek Jeter in the hole, and Derek Jeter's got deeper arm, making that crazy like iconic Derek Jeter throw. I just don't understand.
It
Like,
looked more like a jump hook than a fucking.
Shout out to the first place New York Yankees, Nubs.
Yo, I'm really excited over here. Shout out to Mia O'Brien. Me and her on Jaguars Twitter. We're out here stunning.
Just kidding, not first place, second place.
shut the fuck up. No one gives a
First
fuck about
place in the
Yankees.
wild card. I think we're beating the Twins right now. Shout out to my boy Dilla.
Bro, me and fucking you and Solly and Cap could beat the Twins right now. They're fucking garbage.
Anyway,
Line them up.
back to Gardner Minshew's crow hop. Yeah, I'm with you on that front, Dilla. I think as long as things are kind of close, you can keep up that facade of competition. But you aren't fooling a single guy on that team, right? At this point, I've thought about this the other day. In my head, I'm going back to all the interviews I've listened to with the receivers since training camp started. The other day, Laviska Shenault, they're asking him about Trevor, and then he's like, "Oh, he's that dude," blah, blah, blah. And the way they talk about him, they've never even come close to talking about that way with Gardner. Like when a dude is a dude, the guys know, and when you're not, when a dude's a dud, they know too. So there's no like everybody on that team knows that Trevor Lawrence is the starting quarterback, should be the starting quarterback. There's zero question about it. So at this point, that's where you lose me, not just in the fact that like we saw it on Saturday night and like that should have been the end of it, but everybody's known that since day one. So when you couple that with the fact that you could just see the gap in talent and ability for ourselves on Saturday, it's like, dude, you're really stretching it to say that part of the competition is more important than his development in the reps.
I'm actually getting mad right now that we're talking about it. Like I'm really getting pissed off that we're talking about it. Right
Trevor has been that dude since 8th grade, right? Battling Gardner Minshew is not going to motivate him to be a better quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking.
I'm literally
about
mad that
That's
we're
the thing
talking
too.
about it
For
right
as much coach speak that we get, like you said, Cap, it's obvious the players they tell you who they want without telling you who they want. It's that obvious. To the point where Hattie said the other day, he called him White Jesus. He doesn't even know Minshew's first name, dog. He can't convince me otherwise. Like there's just no way. So I don't know.
This guy
we're gonna talk about it in a second, but they like covered up their ass on their first mistake of bringing Tebow in. He was one of the first people cut. As we saw after one football game, he can't fucking play tight end, right? It was evident. Can't block, can't catch. We'll get there in a second, Nubz. We'll let you get your feelings out. We see your shirt. But with the quarterback that you took first overall, that you knew you were going to take first overall, the quarterback who was drafted, the quarterback we knew we were going to get that gave us Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer came to Jacksonville to coach Trevor Lawrence. What the fuck are we doing?
The competition.
I'm mad we're still talking about it.
Well, I get it's just confusing because there's a lot of things as fans. We aren't as smart as most of these football dudes,
For sure.
whether it be draft picks or free agent signings or play calls or whatever it is. And it's easy to be the armchair QB and to fire off hot takes. But like, you really, it's difficult to fake this one. Like, you can't fake it. Like,
Yeah.
And you're
It's
not
Trevor
fooling
fucking
anyone.
Lawrence.
You're not fooling anyone. You're not fooling anyone. That's what I just keep coming back to. It's like, if you're not even fooling the fans who want to literally believe anything about this team that could be positive, you're definitely not fooling the guys who are out there on that field.
I'm upset that Dillard just said that Bevel has a boner for Gardner Minshew. That makes me. I was happy with Bevel until he said that. Fuck that.
Gardner Minshew got benched for Mike Lennon last year.
And
People
Luton,
forget that.
whatever his name is.
Jake Futon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, Doug Monroe was trying to win, and he thought Mike Lennon was a better quarterback.
Can we talk about how CJ Beathard is better than Minshew?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk
he
about that.
definitely played better than him.
Can we
Well,
talk
it's
about
fun-
how I'd rather see Tim Tebow play a little quarterback than Gardner Minshew? Let's talk about
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, it's funny because Jackson asked me, he said, Dad, who's this guy? When Beathard came in, because he had said, he's like, man, Minshew looks like crap, like he looks terrible. And then Beathard comes in, he goes, who's this guy? He should be our backup. And I'm like, well, this is the classic case of
Brent Balky agrees, Jack.
Minshew has been, by most accounts, he's been having some decent practices, whereas Beathard, by most accounts, and a lot of the practices, especially early on, he looked like trash. Some guys are just the dude who gets out in the game and plays better in the game. I mean, and that's not necessarily a terrible quality for your backup to have.
And we thought
No
Gardner
doubt.
was that guy, but
And that's what, so Beathard played at Iowa, and Alfie's a big Iowa fan. So I texted him about it, and I was like, hey, is it the same way? Early on in camp, when we heard that Beathard wasn't practicing well, I was like, what did they say back at Iowa? And he was like, no, they said the same thing. He was terrible from Monday to Friday. And then he would come out and play good Iowa football, which is like handing the ball off. But I mean, if he's going to play better on game day, like, I don't know, man. And like Solly said, that's what we thought Minshew was going to be, but he's clearly not. He's terrible.
he's terrible.
Okay, so tell me this then: do we keep 3 QBs?
I hope
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, they'll put one on the like protected practice squad. I think we get 4 protections.
Yeah. Do you think that's
Sure,
Beathard?
that's what
Do you
they'll
think
do.
that's Beathard or Minshew?
I think plays against and got to worry about it, and it can be Luton.
You got to say that again.
Yeah, you gotta say that again.
That's
You're in fucking Wisconsin right now. Wisconsin internet. Shout out to Wisconsin's own Austin Lane. Only person I know from Wisconsin.
He has a big block of cheese
Thanks.
as his modem right now.
I do. I don't even. It doesn't even work. But I don't even know what I said. But I agree with whatever I said.
Okay, good. Yeah. So fun fact for those of you that aren't watching online, the video portion of this podcast, I'm learning something new every day about the state of Wisconsin. Apparently the Wi-Fi just goes to total shit when the sun goes down, because when the sun was up behind you, Dylan, like we were aces, and now it's looking like, we're shout out to whoever's behind you there, family member of the Dillard
Yeah.
clan.
That's my aunt Jackie. Jackie wave.
Aunt Jackie, what's
Hi,
up?
Aunt Jackie. How you doing?
Hey,
They
tell
all
Aunt
say
Jackie.
hi.
Hey, tell Aunt Jackie to come here real quick. Tell her to come here.
Hey, they said come here real quick. Come here real quick.
Hey, ask her. Hey,
All right,
Aunt
she can hear
Jackie,
you.
nice to see you.
Hey.
You too.
Hey, we have a quick question for you. Welcome to the Bold Take. So, what do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down with Urban Meyer still considering a QB competition between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew? What do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Who's Urban?
He's Urban.
He's a bum.
Exactly. I agree.
Good
Aunt
answer,
Jackie.
Jackie.
Thumbs down.
There you go.
Yay.
Good call, Aunt Jackie. Thank you. Aunt Jackie's a legend. She knows. You know what?
He said, "Who the fuck is Urban?"
I appreciate the hell out of that. Aunt Jackie's just sitting there and she's saying, I'm not acknowledging Urban until he ends this charade. That's strong.
Damn.
Strong.
She
Very
came
strong.
through heavy.
Well,
with the
before
facts.
we get to Nubz's eulogy of the local saint, I did want it. So, Urban, that's frustrating me on the Urban side, right? As far as coaching and kind of some of these decisions. Hopefully it's something that a month from now we're all like, yeah, it was
I don't
we were
even remember that
frustrated.
stupid
Yeah,
shit.
but like whatever. And hopefully Trevor hits the ground running and looks pretty good in the beginning. And we don't have the excuse to look back upon of like, well, maybe he should have had more reps, right? Hopefully we get to that point. One other part of kind of like the coaching staff front office that I wanted to touch on is I'm just still not sold on the Trent Baalke / Urban player evaluation, man.
I say timeout because them draft picks are fire, bro.
Draft picks are fine. The draft picks are really good. They're great. I am still a little confused about some of the free agent signings or lack thereof. A little bit of both. I tweeted this out, and I just want to be on the record here on the podcast. If they keep Philip Dorsett over Colin Johnson, I swear to God, I will walk down there. Who's that? Is that Uncle? Who's that?
That's Uncle Steve. Yeah.
Uncle Steve, what's up, my man?
They say, "What's up, my man?" He said, "Thumbs up."
All right. Oh, so he agrees with Urban. Damn. We got Aunt Jackie, but we didn't get Uncle Steve. No, I just the Philip Dorsett stuff, the letting Josh Oliver go for no reason when they did for nothing.
Signing Tim Tebow to play tight end.
It's just some of that stuff, man. I'm getting some vibes on the pro personnel side of we're the smartest person in the room, or we have this plan. And here's my thing with Philip Dorsett. Okay. And I know everybody's the comment that everybody goes to is he's fast and Urban wants to play fast. But my argument there is Philip Dorsett has legitimately been in situations in his pro career so far where he's played with outstanding quarterbacks, and he's never been able to produce anything of real note.
Right.
Outstanding quarterbacks and some good offensive minds on the offensive coordinator side that are able to scheme things and utilize. I'm wondering what the hell we're doing in that situation. And so those are the two that really confuse me. Joe Sherbert, I know people were getting a little bit bent out of shape because it's like, we don't have anybody behind him. What's the, why not keep him around for the season, yada, yada, yada. That one didn't bother me that much because it's Joe Sherbert. And he forgot that he wasn't playing for the Browns halfway through last season. But so I'm not that sad to see him go, but those are the couple. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. I don't know if y'all disagree, agree, whatever, but those are the couple things that are worrying me a little bit because I feel like Baalke had a little bit of that reputation in San Fran too.
These are just red flags. Like these are things like it's not the biggest deal in the world. They're not like making colossal fuck ups, but it's like, what do we? I'm watching.
But also in the same, I think it's like worth noting. But at the same time, Griffin has been
for sure.
Rayshawn Jenkins seems to be. I'll be honest. I didn't know who he was.
Me neither.
But he seems like he's a good football player, and he seems like he gets on well with the guys in the room. So that's kind of cool too.
That's fair.
Other than that, but I agree. Like I think it's worth noting. I think if we're upset about receiver 6, like not the end of the world. But 2, I agree. I think keeping Dorsett and losing someone like Colin Johnson, who's in his second year, shown upside, has a completely different body type than the other receivers. Especially after they came out and said, hey, we thought about making him a tight end and decided not to. And then you're going to turn around and maybe cut him for some guy who's been in the league for 6 years and was only successful with Stephen Morris at Miami.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid they're going to cut Johnson. He's going to become Allen Lazard.
100%.
Yeah.
That's
he's going to go to a team who knows how to use him with a good quarterback, a good offensive coordinator.
And he's going to get boogied.
So I think that's my fear as well. And Dylan and I talked about that the other day. In the past, you could make the argument that who knows what Allen Lazard would have been here had we kept him because we had no quarterback. But now with the prospect of actually having a quarterback, I don't want to lose the big-bodied wide receiver that has a skill set that most of the other guys on the team don't have when we've got the quarterback who could probably utilize that skill set. So
not for Philip Dorsett.
The moment that Marvin Jones went across the middle of the field, high-pointed the ball and won because Trevor Lawrence threw a perfect ball that a lot of people said was inaccurate, which was like thank you for telling me you don't know what you're watching.
Mhm.
There's people who said that. If you have a guy who can go up and get that 50-50 ball 80% of the time with a quarterback who knows how to get it where it needs to be high pointed, and you're gonna let him walk to another team
The fuck else do you want?
after he
Yeah.
performed better than his draft slot last year with Gardner Minshew and Mike Glennon and Jake Futon, and now you're not gonna let him play with a quarterback who actually knows what's going on. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
That's where I'm at. And you're right. I mean, it's not, they've hit on plenty. I mean, or the appearances of hitting on plenty. I'm fired up about the draft class. I mean, I think the draft class is has the potential to be amazing. But yeah, that's just kind of a couple of areas. And hopefully we're just nitpicking, dude. Hopefully everybody,
for sure.
everybody are ballers. Hopefully Trevor is the man. And we're like, maybe we end up being like Patriots fans where we're pissed off at, some really stupid shit. Like
That would be nice.
It would be
Josh McDaniels doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
cool. As they win 12
Just
games
won
and
his
a
fourth Super
every
Bowl.
other year.
Yeah.
as they take Matt Castle to, 14-2, like,
Right.
oh no, that's anyway. So those are the couple things I want to get off my chest. Solly, what else we got? The eulogy? Is it eulogy time? All right, Nubsy. You wore the shirt. For those
I
that
did.
aren't watching online, Nubs has the DTWD originals Tebow / tight end bow t-shirt. He's mega thick in it right now. I mean, my man has just been hitting the gym
He's yoked.
Hulk Nubs.
in preparation for tailgate season, right?
Yeah.
You're looking good in it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed are you that you'll never get to wear that to another game where Tim Tebow takes the field for the Jaguars?
Oh, it's a solid 9.
9.
Solid 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys need to come out with more black shirts, by the way.
Okay. Fair. I'll follow up to that question, if I may, Nubs. I know part of the reason why this is a little bit of a sore subject for you is that there's a couple of ladies in your life that are massive Tebow fans.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, how are they taking it? How's the mother-in-law and the lady? How are they taking it?
So my mother-in-law is a massive Tim Tebow fan. She went to FSU to get her PhD, and she's still a Tim Tebow fan. And I bought her this exact shirt, and she sent me a picture like 6 straight days of her wearing it, just overly excited.
Legend.
And I went over to her house last Friday night, and she was like, "You better send me updates. Every good thing Tim Tebow does, you got to send it to me. Let me know how he's doing."
The
I
next
didn't
day,
give
she's
her-
like, "Why didn't you text me all night?"
I didn't text her one fucking update. But I do know one thing, and that is Tavon Austin is going to hell.
Because
He's going to hell.
He's going
He
straight to
stole-
hell.
Straight to hell.
Tebow's one chance. Is that
His one catch in a Jaguars uniform that would have been in our memories forever. He stole it. Man.
The best ball that Gardner Minshew threw all night. He had 2 open
All
receivers
night,
and he hit
yeah.
them both.
Did you see the picture of someone took it might have been Logan, but someone took a picture and they just looked at each other, Tavon and Tebow just had the most disgusted look in his eyes, like, bruh, I can't do nothing else. You couldn't let me caught the ball. Have you seen how I've been blocking all night? Let me catch this.
We just signed you 2
22-yard
days ago,
pass.
bro.
Yes.
What?
Try hard ass.
Shout out to Tavon Austin.
You had like 5 catches, bro. You can't share the love a little bit. Let me get one.
For
He's like-
real.
He's like Rudy. Remember Rudy in the movie where like Rudy practice squad, but he's going hard against everybody. Tavon Austin out there. Tebow's just trying to run his little route, get his pass.
Yeah.
Tavon coming out there just to try hard. All right. So Nubs, I got to know the mother-in-law, like, what was her reaction when they cut him?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't even attempted to talk to her since because I know it's gonna be mad hatred towards the Jags, man.
Have you
She's
have
gonna-
you scrolled around on any like Facebook comments or anything? Like, have you seen her in there maybe?
I have. I told Pedro, who's dating my girlfriend's. Well, he's married to my girlfriend's sister, our boy Pedro, and he messaged me. He's like, "Our mother-in-law is gonna be so pissed off," and I'm like, "Bruh, I'm not even touching it. Like, I'm just waiting for the."
I was gonna say,
Facebook
just don't
post."
tell her till the end of the year.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah,
cap.
he wasn't on the team all year.
She's gonna be
Yeah, no, we
so
caps here this time.
mad, dog.
How was Tim this year? Well, he served the Lord.
Yeah, because you guys remember when the whole kneeling situation went down in London in 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law was commenting on every pro Jaguars Facebook post I posted, and she was like, "I'm not watching them scumbags. That was so disrespectful." So cutting Tim Tebow has to be up there, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Cutting
I'm
Tebow
just-
is worse than kneeling for the flag.
Yeah. I'm
No,
just
she-
staying away from it.
She's done. That's the last straw for her. She is done.
Mhm.
She is done. Yo, I on the Tebow front, I know we can get into some maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of maybe why he had no shot at making the
Can
team.
we? Can
But-
we?
But before we maybe do that, I don't know why I was shocked at all on Saturday to see so many fresh new Tim Tebow Jaguar jerseys.
So
But
many
I was
dudes.
still a little shocked. It was still a little shocking to see so many people that went out and spent like $160 on this guy's jersey. And most of them had the expectation that he really might make the team.
Mhm.
Grift is real, Cap. The grift is real. Look, like, okay, Tim, we'll give you a chance. If we're gonna sign you to a contract here. We're gonna see how you do in camp. If you can make this team, you're gonna get your sixth accrued season or whatever, fifth accrued season, whatever it is. That I looked up what the benefit would be. He goes from like $5,000 a month in pension to like $35,000 a month in pension. Okay. We'll let you see if you can get this accrued season. Meanwhile, we're going to sell every piece of cloth that's black and teal in the city, and we'll go from there.
So
He was just so
Super
bad,
grift,
though,
bro. There was
man.
a fuck
So
ton of jerseys
bad.
in that
So
stadium.
there was the best tweet I saw about this was from some guy who's a sports blogger, and I don't even recall. I never really heard of him, but it got retweeted on the timeline. And I don't remember it verbatim, but it essentially said, I don't know why everybody's upset with the Tebow situation. The Jaguars got to sell a bunch of jerseys, make a bunch of money. Urban Meyer got to give a job to someone he cared a lot about who is completely unqualified, which is something that everybody's trying to do. And then he said, and then all of us that cover, right, got to write our blogs and got those clicks
for days.
Yeah, we got our blogs off. And I said, this is almost the perfect tweet, because the only thing I would add to that is the people who fell for it, the marks, right? The people who are the marks, they were marks. Like everybody played their part, like literally.
As you knew they would.
Tebow got to chase a dream. Urban got to hook a buddy up. The Jaguars made a bunch of money, and then the marks were marks. And it worked exactly how it's supposed to. And maybe don't cry because it's over. Just be happy that it happened. Right?
Yeah.
Like one of those deals. I mean, because there aren't many almost perfect situations in life. And that seemed like it worked out exactly how it was supposed
Every
to.
time Tim Tebow turns around, it's a grift, bro. He takes
Yeah.
a shit, it's a grift. It's unbelievable.
It's a shift.
That guy does not need the money. Like, he did not need that extra $25,000 the NFL is going to give him.
Yeah.
He's the fucking Joe Osteen of the NFL. Or
I was gonna say, why doesn't he
sports.
just open a super church in Jackson?
you guys-
Yeah,
did you guys
open a
see-
church.
Did you guys
Oh.
see that Mike? Did you guys see that Mike Bianchi wrote a whole article about how he's going to be the
Should
president?
run for president? Yes, dude.
Well, we can't
He
get
said-
any more fuck.
he celebrated that he was cut.
I want to get Pete Prisco back on just to talk about that. I just want to say Mike Bianchi thinks Tim Tebow should be president and just let Pete go.
He's done everything else. Let him be
Yeah.
president. Give him a
He's
If
almost
we're
old enough.
If we're
Yeah.
being honest,
Ooh, that hurts me because we're the same age.
could he be,
Yeah.
be any worse than anything we've had in the last few years?
I mean, no.
Hell no.
Hey, on the topic though of him opening up a super church, like a mega church, if Joel Osteen has like a Ferrari or two, Tebow would have like a
Fucking
whole,
jet, an F-18, bro.
he'd have a whole freaking fleet of private jets and Ferrari.
Yeah.
Hey, if he opened that shit at First Baptist downtown, it would revitalize downtown Jacksonville.
Oh, that's a great idea, dude. Write that down. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it. I'm not putting that energy in the fucking atmosphere. No way.
Bro,
Get
legit,
everybody from Clay County to fucking support our downtown. Let's go.
God, we be rolling in it.
do you think that he could sell out TIA Bank every Sunday giving a sermon in Jackson?
Hey, Billy
100%.
Graham, dude, Billy Graham did it. Of course, Tim Tebow could do it.
I was,
And you know
I
who-
was
and you
at
know
that
who would get
Billy
rich?
Graham.
You know who would get rich off that shit?
I went
Sean
there too,
Connery.
Nubs.
Were you there?
Yeah.
That's where I was saved. A lot of good that did.
Holy shit. You're learning a lot on the Bold Take tonight. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I had a neighbor ask me, like, he's a casual follower of the Jags and football. And he was just like, I saw they cut Tebow. What happened? And I'm like, well,
Thanks.
he
He stinks.
That
Yeah.
question has been
Yeah.
asked 100 million times across this city this past week.
I think it's unfair to expect, not to be serious for a moment, but I guess I'll be serious for a moment in the midst of us getting these jokes off. And Nubs, don't think I forgot about you just mentioning that you were saved by Billy Graham, but we'll come back to that in a second. For Tebow, what does make me a little pissed off is that so many people are football ignorant enough to believe that he maybe had a shot at making the team, because so much to that position is a level of physicality and leverage and using your body to block and to position in certain ways that it's almost an insult to think that somebody who's never done that in their life can just, who is also undersized for the position, right, can just walk out there and do it. And so I felt a little bad when he was catching so much flack for those bad blocks. But at the same time, I'm like, the issue is people look at him and they see all the muscles, and he's a big dude and he's a strong dude and he works out hard and he's a workout warrior. And he's yoked. I mean, he's absolutely ripped, but that doesn't mean that you understand how to play physically and with leverage. And that's when I watched all those missed blocks. That's what I saw. I saw somebody who just didn't have the footwork, didn't have the physicality. And I mean, that takes time to really learn. So to expect that he was going to, like Hayes Carline, I'm sure he's, I'm sure Hayes is just trying to get the clicks. Like, so shout out to Hayes, but like, to be sitting there early on in training camp and saying, I don't think Tim Tebow is just going to make the team. I think he's going to play. He might be the best tight end out here. It's just like,
That was going to be my next point. Like Hayes Carline, I listen to 1010 XL every day on my ride home. This dude said he was the best tight end in practice, like the first week.
Yeah,
He
that's what
hyped him
Pat's
up
on.
so much, dude. I was like, all right, maybe this guy's got it. Then when me, Dilla, and Solly went out to practice 2 weeks ago, it was evident that guy fucking sucks, dude.
Dude, JB's faster than him.
Yeah, Andy
Facts.
Willis is faster than Tim Tebow.
well, Andy Willis runs a 4.40. I don't know if you guys knew that, but
Faster than him.
Is that before or after the broken hamstring?
no, I understand what you're saying, Nubs. And I think in that situation, everybody wanted to say, man, he looks like he might belong out here. That was before the pads went on, bro.
Also, he's
Like-
he might weigh 250.
Yeah.
but he has like a 220 frame. He's just like super. He's got so much pop
Yeah.
muscle
Yep.
that he
Yep.
he weighs a lot. He doesn't have a 250 frame. Like these tight ends these days are 6'6". Their shoulders are fucking huge. Like these
And
guys
the-
have a different type of leverage than Tim Tebow.
That's what I was
No, they
explaining.
know how to seal off a line when they block someone. They use
Their
their left
arms are
shoulder,
like-
not
yeah.
their right shoulder.
Yeah. They understand angles and leverage and all that stuff.
He's
And-
a big
Right.
dude by conventional standards, but like when he was standing next to the
Yeah.
tight ends, he looked like a little baby.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Well,
dude,
and
Ben
that's what I ex-
Effelson or whatever that guy's name is yoked compared to Tebow.
Big.
Not yoked, but bigger. He's a much bigger frame
Bigger
Bigger
frame.
than
Bigger
Tebow
him.
ever did.
and
Yeah.
I was
He could be
explaining
skinny
that.
and be 250.
I was explaining that to Jackson because he was asking too. He's like, Dad, everybody's saying Tebow's cut and he shouldn't be. And I'm like, well, here's the deal, man. And I kind of explained everything that I just said a moment ago. But then I also said, it's very rare that somebody walks onto an NFL field, never playing the position, and all of a sudden they can make a team and contribute within like a year or two.
You're supposed to beat a safety one-on-one. Come on, buddy.
Well, I said there have been, ironically, there have been some guys at that tight end position over the last decade that have come that maybe haven't played much football or hadn't played in a long time, or some that haven't played at all. I said, but the difference between them and Tim Tebow was they were more physically gifted, right? They had bigger, better size, better explosiveness, better speed, all those things.
Usually they're hoop stars and hoopers.
Yeah,
are
exactly.
athletes.
That's what I was getting at. I mean, Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham, like cats like that, but that was
Chris
the thing with
Manhurts.
Tebow literally, and you got Chris Manhurts. You have to give the dude credit in one area. He has legitimately sucked every single bit of athleticism. That's where I was going with that, Sally. Don't worry. But he has gotten every drip of athleticism and ability out of his body.
Yeah.
He has from like a
Not
sport
like that athletic.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Agile, I should say, is probably the word. Like,
yeah, but
that agile.
the athlete that he has maximized it.
Yeah.
I mean, he has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he really has. And so you gotta pay respect to that in that regard. And unfortunately, that maximization of his potential, his ability, and his athleticism wasn't nearly enough to become an NFL tight end at age 34.
That's why I thought like maybe if they keep him, it's like a fullback, like a short yardage specialist, like they want to pound him. That makes a little bit of sense if there's room for that in today's NFL. But
even so, man, are you at age 34 where he looked very slow, from an explosiveness in and out of breaks and things like that? Right. Are you wanting to give him the ball instead of James, Robinson on the goal line?
Or like the way he looked blocking too. I expect him to look a little better blocking,
more physical.
Like he was getting blown up.
Yeah, what's Tommy Bohannon doing?
Exactly. Where's
Tommy Bohannon would bully Tim Tebow.
For sure, he'd beat the fuck out of him. I mean, I don't mean in a fight. I mean in like a position battle, like if we're blocking and stuff.
Yeah, and that's and Solly just kind of said something that has frustrated me all along, and I don't begrudge you for thinking that, but I think it's almost like a little bit of an insult to say, hey, that dude is really big and strong, so he should be able to block and understand. Like blocking is technique as much as it is like strength and an ability. Yeah. At a certain point, right? Like I mean, if you line JB up against Jawan Taylor, I think Jawan Taylor is going to win unless JB beats him to the outside. You never know. But with so
JB just shrinks right underneath him.
On an NFL level, when you're going up against dudes who have been having those types of physical battles for the last 15, 20 years of their life, like to expect that a dude, no matter how big and strong and like sexy his muscles are, to expect him to go out there and all of a sudden understand that stuff is, it's just not realistic. So
popcorn muscles, baby.
Anyway, I mean,
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, look at all the tackles we've had over the years since Baselli. We had Mike Pearson in 2002. Baby Baselli, big dude, couldn't block for shit. Eugene Monroe, he was all right, but he really couldn't block. Luke Jokel, can't block. Cam Robinson, it's not that good. So to expect Tim Tebow to come in here and
Walker
block
Little, Hall of Fame,
no doubt.
Speaking of Walker Little, just kidding.
What's that?
I said, and speaking of Walker Little, oh, just kidding.
He's about to drop a Dilla bomb. Right. Well, what else we got, Sally? We've talked trips. We hit the most important aspects of Tebow, and we talked a little bit about why Nubz hates Urban Meyer.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't say that? I'm sorry.
I don't hate him. I'm really concerned.
He's nervous. Yeah,
I'm a little nervous.
Nervous Nubsy.
Like I'm not saying I had expectations for the first preseason game because you shouldn't. No one's trying to win.
Yeah.
I just didn't want them to look like the Jaguars from the last 15 years.
And it's funny you say that because I think it was at the first drive or the second drive. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, look, the Jaguars are back. Like,
Yeah.
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 I was
See, I
under the
felt-
assumption that Chase Keenum was a used car salesman somewhere. And he fucking murdered us, dude. Like, and
See,
then
why didn't you guys expect that? Case Keenum has 10 years of playing experience, and we didn't scheme to stop him. That's the reason why the Jaguars used to win in the preseason all the time, because Leftwich would start, and then Garrard would come in and do the same thing.
yeah, but it's still
I just
Chase
like
Keenum.
I was fucking pumped with the first two. Yeah, but he's literally, dude. He has he's better than any quarterback we've had in 10 years.
Wasn't
That's
he in
not
the
hard to
NFC
do.
championship game a couple years ago?
He was. He got beat
I
by
don't
Nick
know, but he
Foles.
played for the Vikings when they were.
He got
decent.
beat by Nick Foles.
Case,
I just-
Jaguar legend.
Case
I
Keenum.
I was very different than a lot of people. I was really excited with how the offense looked. It would have been cool if they would have scored. The offensive line. not
Agreed. It
blocking,
would have
I'm
been
not
really
worried
cool if they
about that.
scored.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been nice.
but also, but
Really, what
also
I was
not
looking for was for
important.
them to score. 100%. Yeah, I'm with you.
Poor Solly sat through like most of the game because he brought a Tebow fan. And he just really
Dumbass.
wanted to see Tim Tebow like do something.
I just wanted that for
That
myself.
girl
I
got mad
wanted
at
the
me
jump
when I said
pass.
I wanted him
I knew
cut.
that preseason game was the Super Bowl for Tim Tebow. Like
That was it.
he
Yeah.
wasn't gonna do anything in a regular season game, even if he made it. So like, I just wanted the jump pass in the preseason game, and then we all could have
Same.
fucking jumped around like crazy people and
Well,
chugged our
fucking,
beers. And
that's
I'm
why
glad, I'm glad he
Tavon
didn't do nothing.
So
Hey, Tavon Austin's got a better shot at making the team than Dorsett. He's making more plays in practice every day than Dorsett.
facts.
Yeah, I heard that. He had like
Well,
5 touchdowns his
Hey,
first 2
they
days.
said that. Yeah, they said that Dorsett made his first actual like wow play of the whole camp like a couple days ago, which is hilarious to hear him talk about. Well, is he going to make the team as a 6th receiver? Because it makes you wonder like where's that like what? Why do they think that is going to be a thing where they're writing about it?
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see
So,
if they.
I don't know.
It seems like Urban wants so much speed, and that's really the reason for Dorsett, right? It'll be interesting to see if he figures out that like the NFL game has a little bit more nuance to it, and somebody like Colin Johnson may not be as fast when you time him as Dorsett, but he kind of understands how to play receiver a little better,
Or he could just be more valuable in general. Yeah,
Right.
Right.
exactly.
Be interesting to see if they figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Case Keenum though. He was out there throwing to Gary Criswell and a couple other dudes that and my man did light us up.
Yeah.
But Dilla, since you were watching, we were getting jokes off and throwing just a bunch of trash on the field at a few of the players, mainly Gardner Minshew. You were watching more of like the TV side of it. How did some of the rookies look to you, like specifically Tyson Campbell and some of those cats?
So I thought Tyson Campbell looked really good, except for the one play where he got beat, which is unfortunately what happened to him is his biggest like red flag.
Yeah.
When the ball's in the air, he gets lost.
Yeah.
So like to see that happen right before half too at that, like, for as good as he's been, I think he's going to play in the slot. We haven't talked about it yet, but apparently CJ Henderson's back in a good routine. I legitimately think the biggest thing that happened to CJ Henderson was he got COVID. He wasn't allowed to be around the team. It got him back in a funk. And you guys know, if you like, we have plenty of friends who have mental issues. When they get out of their routine, it throws them off. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality.
Dude,
of
it throws
He's
me
getting
off.
back in.
I don't even have mental issues.
Yeah, that's debatable. But the big thing too.
I'm pretty sure you were included in the friends that have.
Yeah.
Fair.
Anyway, keep going, Dylan.
Fair.
So I think it's really cool to see CJ Henderson playing at a high level. Even today in practice, I saw Jamal St. Cyr from, Channel 4, I believe, saying he had another really good day, and he's starting to stack up a lot of good days. So if he's on the outside, Griffin's going to be on the outside. I think it's more fun to have someone like Campbell on the inside who has a lot of like quick twitch ability.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that out of Herndon. Is Herndon going to wrap up and make a tackle 10 yards downfield? Probably. You know what I mean? He's a UDFA guy out of Vandy. He's worked to where he should be on the team. Sidney Jones will probably be the backup outside corner. I think Tyson Campbell, if we see a better performance out of him this week, especially if he's going into the week knowing he's starting inside where he's been practicing all week. I mean, I don't know how much Jameis is going to play, but if he goes against a decent amount of Jameis and he looks good, I think that'd be really cool. And I think the more like fun player to talk about on defense, especially in the DBs, is Andre Cisco. That dude lined up at like 8 positions, I said,
Yeah.
and he looked really good at every single one of them.
He's a stud, dude. That was my favorite draft pick, in the draft. I said it then. I was really high. You know me as the resident safety expert. I was pretty high on him coming out, and obviously the fam being Cuse fans, we're high on his abilities. I'm excited about him. I think he is. I think we're going to see a good amount of dime coverages where they get a few of those guys on there. I really like Jenkins. Jared Wilson and Josh Jones they don't do a ton for me. So I'm not necessarily in a hurry to get a linebacker or two off the field to get them on it. But with Cisco,
I'm much higher though on Wilson than the other one.
Yes.
I'd rather Wilson be the backup on both sides than Josh Jones playing at all.
Yeah. I mean, but the way they lined up on Saturday, it seemed like they, with Josh Jones, they've got him a little higher than I would rate him after last season. But
would you guys be mad if they big brained and like got rid of one of those again?
What do you
got
mean?
rid of one of the players?
Yeah, like if they did a big brain and like they did with Schobert basically and did some stupid shit and just like cut one.
I mean, I don't think Josh Jones is any value going anywhere else, and I think Wilson's much better, but I think Josh Jones started, yes, but the first thing that happened on Monday's practice was he wasn't with the starters anymore.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think we're past that, which is good to see but it also kind of funny if we take it back to, well, why aren't they doing it with the quarterback if the quarterback was that much better? But we talked about that already. I'm not really too concerned about the DBs as a whole. I thought the D-line looked fucking great. Linebackers, they were a question mark in the past game against the screen, but it's preseason. I don't really care about that yet. But the fact that they could stop the run, even though it was, the backup offensive line or whatever they said, it was dope to see. I mean, playing a 3-man front of Malcolm Brown, Devon Hamilton, and Roy Jones, whatever his name is.
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, the boxer. No, the triple name dude that we got from Cincinnati or fucking Chicago. The other
Robinson Harris.
Roy
there you
Jones Jr. That's 3 names. Anyway.
You're right. But I thought it was cool. I mean, when you have a 3-man front and it weighs almost 1,000 pounds and you're stopping the run, all things point to like, hell yeah, keep it up.
Devon Hamilton is a fucking beast.
I'll tell you
monster.
why, honestly, everybody talks about the offense maybe being better. And what gives me pause on like, maybe we can be pretty competitive as a team this season is that I think Trevor is going to be pretty good. He's going to have his moments. He'll have rookie moments. The offensive line in some ways, this is a little bit of a question mark, but what team, most teams have pretty similar question marks on the offensive line, right? I mean, it's the NFL right now. The modern NFL offensive line play as a whole isn't great. So take all of that and put it aside. You just hit the nail on the head. The 2 areas that have me interested and I think will drive how good we can be. I think they will stop the run. I'm not sure about the next 3 guys up after those starting 3, but I think those starting 3 are really good. And then the secondary, I have a lot of hopes for. I think the middle linebackers, I'm not too worried about. The question really will come down to pass rush. And
pass rush.
Yes. I mean, the guys on the edge and then Cullen scheming it up. And manufacturing pass rush as well from blitzes and bringing it from all angles. So if they have the pass rush, I think they're going to be able to cover pretty well. I think they'll be a decent tackling team in the back third. If they can stop the run, I mean, I like the looks of that defense right now. I'll tell you about Tyson Campbell really quick. Loggeman's really high on him. I was listening to Loggeman earlier today. And he said he thought he played really, really well in all of his snaps. other than that one, which
He got
again,
lost,
the same thing.
which is
he
his
said
thing.
that's the knock on him. It is. He goes, but he said straight up, he said, for a guy taking the second round, which, first pick of the second round might as well almost be first round. But he said, if I got a guy who has that coverage ability, I'll take him not having great ball skills, especially if he's going to be my second corner or my third corner. He said, that's a win. Like as a pick, I think that's a win. He said, I think he has a lot of ability on the coverage side. He said he's a freak. And so I think we all kind of saw that, in some of the practices and then in the game. And so, but to hear Lagerman, like he just had a sound in his voice when he was talking about it that sounded different than when he was talking about a lot of the other guys. So
I think too, when it comes to our pass rush, we'll know a whole lot more, not even from Allen and Chase on off the edge, but what kind of numbers are Hattie and Smoot putting up in manufactured pressure. When Cullen starts moving guys around, if those two guys are getting to the quarterback, not even necessarily sacks, but if they're racking up QB hits, if it's those two guys who are racking up, we're going to be much better than I expect them to be on defense. And I think it's possible after watching one game, which is exciting.
I don't disagree with you. There were a couple of watching it back and watching some of the clips and the highlights of some of the pressures they got. They were running a lot of 2-man games. Yep. And it almost reminded me of, remember the old 3-4 that the 49ers used to run, where Alden Smith got all those sacks that year because Justin Smith would just plow guys over and basically muddy the pocket, and then he would just come in behind and go.
Take up the whole line by himself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's those types of things, plus the ability to be multiple, plus the ability to be creative and manufacture, bring pressure from anywhere, that I've been screaming that I wanted a 3-4 for the past 10 years because you can do those things. It's just a little more conducive to be able to move guys and run those games than when you're just lining up 4 all the time. Because when you're lining up 4 all the time and you're rushing those 4, maybe rushing a 5th, guys aren't worried about where is the free blitzer coming from. When they have to worry about that, I feel like the games are much more effective. Anyway, I don't know, a ton, but like just in the limited amount I do. So that's kind of exciting because I don't think we have enough stud edge rushers to not be able to manufacture pressure.
For sure. And you brought up the 49ers, which I didn't think of, but I thought about the Packers when they were running with AJ Hawk and Clay Matthews, when they were giving those multiple looks and they were sending crazy blitzes from design, and you didn't know where they were coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have, so I think someone said like, oh man, Josh Allen's dropping in coverage. Like, what are we doing? I'm like, look at the play. Like he dropped and someone fucking came around from the other side and got pressure on the quarterback. Like,
and this is just the shit we're showing in preseason. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you got to look at the whole play, you can't look at the one player. Like, we're so used to this bullshit Todd Wash, Gus Bradley defense that like you have to look at the play and how the play is balanced. Miles Jack is a good fucking rusher too.
Yeah,
he is. He's
fucking really good at football.
Yeah, he's a stud. They're going to utilize him. They're going to utilize him, which would be exciting. And I think, I don't want to jinx it, but I think this is a really good scheme. And I'm not breaking any news here. I sound like my boy Frangie. I think this is a good scheme for Calvin Chase.
I think this is a really
100%.
Because not
Do you
just
agree with that?
not just for the edge rushing purposes, but also I think we've talked about it before. He's more suited. He's always been more suited for a 3-4. But everything I've seen in that game and then in the practice reports and stuff is that he's pretty good in coverage.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So if he is, that's only going to open up the game.
He's a question mark. A quarterback don't know what he's doing.
Yes.
And he had a spin move that Dante Fowler would dream of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw it yet on your rewatch, but he has a spin move where he steps outside on the left tackle, spins inside, and he's free on the quarterback. And if he can do that one time a game, that's 16 maybe sacks.
That's a hit.
It was like that too. It was hella
it wasn't.
quick.
Yeah,
was
it
hella
wasn't no
quick.
like watching a hurricane form in the Gulf. Like that shit.
No, like he was past the tackle.
He's an
and he was
athletic
headed towards the
motherfucker, dude.
quarterback.
I think that's
Yeah.
why it's so important though, because unless you're like one of the MAGA Bosa brothers and you just have an you're a freak athlete, you've got the size and you've got great hands and an arsenal of pass rush moves. The reality is most of the dudes coming out of college from an edge rusher standpoint aren't those things. They're
Yeah.
freak athletes that use their athleticism to get to the quarterback. So where I think the NFL is, we've been stuck, especially around here forever with the Gus Bradley and the Todd Walsh and all this schemes. It was like, you come in, you play the position that we're having you play your role within this scheme. And it's like, it was easy for offenses to block. Now you take a guy who's dynamic on the edge, like a Calvin Chase, and you don't know whether he's dropping into coverage. You don't know whether he's coming off the edge. You don't know whether he's looping back inside. And it becomes a lot hard. The worst thing for him all last season, especially in the beginning, was when he was lined up, the guy across from him, the tackle across from him, knew he was rushing. They knew he was
Every
rushing.
single time.
And they just did like this.
Time.
Doink. Away from me.
And so he had to beat them with a first step or he was done. Every single time he had to beat them with a first step or he was done. And now, if just for the split second, you're not sure whether he's coming or if it's somebody else that's coming, that can mean a world of difference for a dude with his athletic ability.
And
So-
he doesn't have to win off the line because of this either, because he can delay. Tackle might think he's dropping into coverage. He gets outside on a tackle and he puts that spin move on him when the tackle's like, oh shit, and steps wide. I mean, we're talking about an acre of space between him and the guard all of a sudden, and he's going to beat him back inside.
Alden Smith, was he all pro 1 year or 2 years?
Yeah, early on in his
career.
career.
He was definitely, multiple pro bowler. He didn't have a single pass rush move, bro. I mean, like, I may be exaggerating, but like he was not a pass rush technician. Like,
I feel like Calvin Chase could be what people thought Deion Jordan from Oregon was going to be when he was coming out of the draft.
Yeah. A physical
You know what I
freak
mean?
that could beat you with his physicality and his
Yeah.
athleticism
Who's
versus
fast enough to cover,
his moves. I agree.
Especially when you got Joe Cullen as your coach.
And my biggest thing with Calvin Chase too is if you look at his college production, he only started for his last year in college, and all the production came
last
from about
5 games.
Yeah, the last 4 or 5 games. Look at his NFL production too.
Mhm.
Terrible. And then he finished top 3 in rookie pressures, all from the end of the season. He played good at the end of the year. So
In the
now,
wrong position too.
exactly. Now he's back in his position. He's got more, experience in terms of playing even out of position. He knows what to look for from how the tackles are setting up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you didn't do anything," and I'm like, I can't agree with that. I can't agree that he didn't do anything in the preseason game.
I would say this about him too, like, because I think looking back on some of the pass rushers we've had in the past in that terrible scheme that we were running, almost like a guy like Dante Fowler to a degree, I think would be much better in this defense as well. But Dante, I don't think Dante had the lateral movement that Calvin Chase does. So I think he has him there. But the part that gives me a little bit more hope for a guy like Calvin Chase than a guy like Dante, I think he has his head screwed on pretty well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And you look at these pass rushers, man, either it becomes an art and a craft that they take very seriously and that they just become obsessive about, or they're far superior athletes and they stay in the league for 8-10 years because they're just such great athletes. The special ones are the ones that are both the Von Millers and the shit like that. And I'm not saying he could be on Von Miller's level, but he does have special attributes athletically. So if he can just get any kind of technique, and he seems interested at least in honing that part of it. But to the greater point, I think they're going to manufacture enough situations where he can get pressure that he's not relying on trying to use skill all the time.
Yeah, and speaking of Von Miller, there's a reason why Von Miller invited him to fucking hang out with Von Miller in the offseason. Von Miller sees something in him too.
Yeah.
We gotta before we get off this thing, we gotta touch on our only our only thing we haven't really touched on, which is runner big. That
Yeah.
dude like literally didn't even use his hands, and he was still pretty much blocking everybody that was across from him. Like,
Yeah,
he
I
literally
mean,
had his hands at his side and was like, I can block you without my
Yeah,
hands.
he was literally absorbing all the pressure, like Urban Meyer said, and he was still winning.
Yeah.
Imagine what he's
Yeah.
gonna do when he puts his hands up.
Yeah.
And that was the first time he's played in what, 3 years, 2.5 years, or whatever it
Yeah.
was.
I'm
Mhm.
interested to see him, as I'm a huge runner big fan. I loved that pick as well when it happened. And I went back and watched it, and I definitely saw what like Baselli and even Urban said about, his hands. That gives me, not gonna lie, that gives me a little bit of trepidation just because of Nubz went through all the bad tackles we've had in the past. And so, I start hearing that, I start thinking Luke Jokel, and just, it's like flashing before my eyes, all of these guys. So I don't want to put that kind of bad juju on our boy. I will be really interested to see how he plays in the next 2 games, because if he fixes that at all, then that's going to tell me that, that he's
In a
probably
week.
got right in a week or 2, even if he fixes it by the last preseason game or whatever, then I'll be like, all right, we got something for sure here. I still think regardless that, he's an amazing prospect, and, if he's a year out, maybe, and if it takes him half the season or a year of working on technique and all that to get back into playing football, fine, whatever. We don't have to have him right now. But if he shows in the next 2 weeks more of the complete package, then buddy, I'm gonna have a boner. I'm gonna have a boner that looks like this.
Yeah. I mean, we need to see him against like people that aren't the Browns backups, but
Yeah. But
Yeah,
if you can get your franchise quarterback and franchise left tackle in the same draft, you can't ask for
the
much
rest
more.
is just straight bonus.
yeah. So,
And your
I mean-
franchise running back.
It's like, I'm
Yeah, we
not.
didn't even fucking touch on that.
I'm not even.
neither than Minshew.
Zing.
Oh, he was so wide open on that play, dude.
Oh
I mean, that was
my god.
Bro, he
that
would have
was-
been gone.
that play was right in front of us.
Dude.
In the section. That play was right in front of us. And then the play where Tyson Campbell just kind of lost that ball,
Yeah.
that loaded up in the air, was right in front of us too.
And
Those are
we're
like-
we're so used to it. We all just look at each other like, what are you gonna do?
the Tyson Campbell. What are you gonna do? The Tyson Campbell one was like, it was alarming, but it was almost like I was shocked because his coverage was so good.
Right.
The dude-
Fucking
Mhm.
Yeah, he just lost
It was
it at the
covered,
last
the
second.
dude.
Brand's route
Covered his ass.
lockdown. He was in his pocket.
Yeah.
And he was in good position up until almost the very end. And then it was like, whoop. And it literally happened right in front of us. I'm watching the play develop. I'm like, oh, he's covered. He's blanketed.
Might
He's-
be a pick. Yeah.
And then the ball's floating up there. I'm like, oh, we're good. And then I go back down to him. I'm like, look up, there's the ball. I go back down to him, and he just, the moment they got to that front pylon, he looked so lost all of a sudden that I was
Yeah, he
just like,
did.
I was like, what in the world just happened? Did he lose in the lights? Like, what just happened? It was crazy. And then the ETN one was just
You just gotta laugh at it because that's our backup
I
quarterback.
mean, that was
Third string.
a dump pass to the running back who was wide open.
Gardner
On another
Minshew for
note-
practice squad.
On another note, James Robinson is still a fucking stud.
Yeah,
Beast,
he's
NFL 100.
Yeah,
Number one.
number
That's-
100.
Hey,
at that.
that's respect though from the league, dude.
Yeah,
It-
but he did that shit last year with, me at quarterback, 9-man boxes.
Literally.
like, he's
That guy's
really
just good.
Yeah, he's good.
he's gonna be really good this year.
Yeah.
Legit.
But
Yeah.
but
Hey, my
Hayes
phone's about
Carline
to
said-
die, so if I disappear, that's where I went.
All right.
Hayes
Good.
Carline said ETN's gonna have 1,500 yards somehow. I don't really know how.
1,500 yards of total offense, maybe.
Yeah.
How?
Throwing. He's gonna throw some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Hayes Carline's a good dude, but he.
Takes. He's got takes.
He's got some takes.
Hey, he's a
1,500
fan too.
Yeah. 1,500 is a lot. I mean, I could see a number that approaches. If James Robinson stays healthy, knock on wood, all season, I think it'd be tough for him to get to 1,500 all-purpose yards,
especially with all the receivers we have too.
Right,
like that's a lot of yards.
I think a better barometer for him, like a great season for him this year, is if he gets to 1,000 all-purpose yards or more.
That would be incredible.
I'd take that. Yeah, I would take.
I think I would do over 1,000, under 1,500.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's to me, if James Robinson is healthy all year again,
yeah,
and I think he'll run for 1,200 or 1,300, and if he does. And then ETN comes in with another 400, 500 on the ground and another 300, 400, 500 receiving. Like, hard to see that we don't have a decent year if that's happening.
Right.
I think ETN's going to have games where he just fucking pops off, and he's going to have games where he's non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, he can make two
Robinson's
plays and have 120 yards.
Yeah. How much do you guys think we're going to see him at receiver?
Not that much, because I think we're going to carry too many receivers to begin with.
Our receivers are too good at their actual receivers.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think if you see him at receiver, you're going to see him lined up in the backfield and motion out. I think you're going to see a lot of fun 2 running back sets out of shotgun, and one of them might go out. And I think they're going to make teams' brains fucking explode when James Robinson goes out and ETN stays in the backfield.
You're making me fucking horny.
Hey man, that's what I'm here for.
Look out, Cass.
Uh-oh.
The big cat's
Baby.
coming in.
We're gonna test that procedure tonight.
Oh boy.
I can assure you it all works just as fine.
A man's unloading. He's unloading the clip.
And then the best part is Dillard can't get pregnant.
That's true. Man,
would be a beautiful baby though.
Oh my goodness. Your height, and then Dilla's beard.
Oh my God.
Sheesh.
Andrew Norwell.
All pro guard, baby.
I think
Yes,
I might be.
sir.
I think I might actually have already. I think I might be raising an all pro guard right now. This fucking second kid.
Yeah, Julian's a
Second
beast,
kid is
dude.
huge.
God.
Ugh.
That's usually how it works. It's usually how it works.
God. You know what they remind me of is the Wendell brothers. Got younger one is like, whoa.
Yeah, when they told me that Justin was the older brother, I was like, no, he's not.
But overall, I'm still pretty optimistic on where the Jaguars are heading.
Yeah.
I think once they lock in 16 as quarterback, hopefully after this game and not after the third preseason game, I think we'll all fucking throw, the rest of preseason in cruise control. We'll jump into like, please don't get hurt, nobody. I mean, especially you've seen what happened to the Jets today. Jesus Christ, they had like a catastrophic day. As long as we can keep avoiding that kind of stuff, I'm pretty pumped with where we're at right now.
You really hate to see that for the Jets and their fans.
You really
I don't hate
do.
to see it for the Jets fans. I think it's fucking hilarious. I feel bad for the fucking poor player
you
who
just hate
fucking
to see
blew his
stuff like-
Achilles up.
You hate to see stuff like that for the Jets fans. That's terrible. Terrible.
I got killed by Jet Splitter this afternoon.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, they came in hot. I
boy.
said some crazy shit. I had to delete some tweets before Nubz got canceled. I almost got canceled.
The fact that Nubz still has the account up is really impressive, actually.
It's unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah, it's flagrant as hell if Nubz is deleting it.
Deleting
Yo.
tweets, no doubt.
I've been making fun of a paralyzed dude for the last 4 years, but it's the one Jets fan. I had to step back.
I can't believe that Andy Willis got his account nuked before Nubz did. I would have
Yeah,
never
that's why-
took that bet if you told me that.
He deserves
10 years
it.
ago.
Andy Willis deserves it. He should get his new account nuked for saying that fucking that Lawrence wasn't great on Sunday. Dumbass. Go make another podcast.
Wow, that's strong. Do we have
Wow.
do we have a-
Jesus Christ.
do we have a pod rivalry?
It was all
No,
good just a week ago.
I knew I could get Andy by just adding tweets to the thread before he could reply, and he would tap out. And as soon as he did, I was like, "Yep, we're good. Everything's where it needs to be."
Oh my
I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, true. Me neither.
No, he thought that deep ball to Marvin Jones was bad because
I saw a
people don't
couple
realize
people
that
say
he
it
throw
was
any farther. The deep
underthrown.
safety
I'm like,
fucking
we
kills
haven't-
him. Yeah.
I mean, he like reset
Receiver
his
high
feet.
points the ball.
Yeah, he like reset his feet, draped it over the top of the DB. Like, pretty good throw.
He
It was
did
amazing
have
throw.
all day to throw that one too.
Yeah,
He
of course.
did. He had
Yeah.
10 seconds. But when did Andy
For
say
sure.
that? Was it right after the game?
It was on Monday or Sunday, whenever the day after the game
Oh,
was.
okay. Yeah, I got you. I had some thoughts too. I wasn't finna say nothing.
It was hey, here's to hopefully not feeling like most of us felt leaving that
Doom
game
and gloom, baby.
with the result. Hopefully we're not too much of that this year. Hopefully at least we're competitive and there's some good moments, because that felt a little, other than I think that the real problem was I was very encouraged by what Trevor did, but it was so small of a portion of the game that the rest of the game, especially Minshew, because I remember thinking, all right, Minshew's coming in, he's gonna be playing against their second or third team. Like we should light this up. We should probably, I didn't care if we won, but like
That's actually why I checked all the way out on Minshew. I was like, nah, fam, you can't do it against the 3s and 4s. Out. Oh,
I bet real
bro.
American dollars that we were gonna win the game, because I thought Minshew would ball out against the 2s and 3s.
I mean,
wait a minute.
We might need to get you to a meeting,
You
Steven.
I thought it was a slam dunk. I was like, that's a preseason game, but
Preseason.
Minshew against third stringers, like, come on. No, he's just that
Preseason
much of a bum.
Jaguars game, a preseason
Oh.
Jaguars game.
Just like Dillard, I'm all the way out. Plus, I also figured, like, okay, this will make the game at least interesting for me. I'll at least care about it.
That's true.
that's actually why he stayed the whole game. It didn't have nothing to do with the Tebow fan that he brought with him.
No, it was because of the company that I was enjoying.
That's
Listen,
Your
true.
wife.
Listen, send help for
Everybody.
Sully. If you're listening out there, I don't know, send help. If you have if you have the number or the or the email address for a good like gambling helpline,
1-800-GET-HELP.
Please make sure that you send it to Sully.
I also got to put out there, shout out to BCB Couch was in the section the entire game.
Oh yeah, he
That-
was.
that
That's
had me
awesome.
staying around bullshit.
He was.
Mans
That's
is
actually
back.
all I really
That was
missed.
like, I felt like we have Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer's our coach, like we have BCB Couch in the fucking stadium. Like, what is going on in this place?
Mans is back. I mean,
Tim
it was
Tebow played in the game. Like,
He had-
all it took was Tim Tebow to get Couch to come back.
last time he had season tickets and was in that stadium. He had like 11 less kids. I mean, and he was back at it again. It was funny because it was kind of like it was a whirlwind getting down there, because we brought our daughter and Jackson to the game, and just getting down there and getting the section. It's like, all right, it's good to be back. Dapping up a few people. We got in there before most of y'all did. Dapping up a few people, saying hello, and this gentleman comes down and walks the row right in front of me and like looks up, and I'm like, I knew, I've known all along that he got season tickets again, but I didn't like go into the game like, oh, I'm gonna see
Yeah,
John. I'm
until
gonna
you see him in the stadium.
I'm gonna see the couch, and then I saw him, and I did kind of like a double take as I was looking on the field. And I looked down, and I'm like, oh shit, that's right, you're here. It was just it was a funny moment. So yeah, anyway, I guess I need to ask him what that means for the couch chapter, because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Official business.
they've lost their leader. They've lost their
Need
leader.
a new
But,
press.
all right, well, we plan on coming back after game 2 of the preseason and talking a little bit. I think Dilla's going to cut the roster down after preseason game 2. He's going to come in with comprehensive notes, a scouting report on each player, and a reasoning behind keeping them. After he does that, Solly's actually going to present us with 6 speeches of any players that he thinks should be cut and what he would say to them on the way out. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Nubsy, thanks for joining us, bro.
It was
Hey,
awesome.
man,
Nubs.
I had a blast. Love you guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah, love
too,
you.
man.
I do have to say, I've already got the roster cut down to 58, Dillard. So I'll text it to you. Just save you a little bit of work. You just will work on the
I'm
last
really
5.
hoping my airplane has TV on it, because I'm gonna be in a tight spot without it.
Oh
Monday.
yeah.
Godspeed on your way back.
I'm gonna have to rewatch a preseason game without it. But I
Godspeed,
appreciate the Godspeed.
Dillard.
Last
Well, hold on. Before you do that, I want to wish our pal Dilla safe travels on the covered wagon that he'll have to take from the area. In Wisconsin. And then I hope that once you make it to an airport, that the first plane that you get on, that will be the same plane that the Wright brothers flew way back when. Hope that gets you to civilization. And then once you get to civilization, maybe your plane will have a TV on it. And so you got a long journey ahead of you, friend. Please hydrate. And remember, do not fjord the river with the oxen. Okay. I mean, like, just let
Got
other
you.
people do that. Let
I
other
got
people
you.
do that. Let them form the bridge, and then you just go over it.
and just make sure you don't get dysentery.
That's right.
Yeah. My thoughts and prayers are with you, Dilla, on this journey.
I need
I
it.
got-
Don't even have Wi-Fi. You guys don't understand the effort I put into getting destroyed by these bugs.
Do you
outside
have
making this
someone's
podcast
phone for a
you.
hotspot? I like that.
I love. Hey,
No, I only have signal in like this little area.
Oh, okay.
Not ideal.
Okay, you gotta do what you gotta do.
our best as well, buddy, to Aunt Jackie, the real legend, the star of the show. Send her our love.
Got to give a shout
do.
out to before we
JB,
get off. I got to give a shout out to
love you, my friend.
Got to give a shout out to the Fish Camp Pills here.
Oh yes,
Support our
sir.
locals, Veterans
Oh
United.
yeah,
It's a good
Yeah,
looking
buddy.
fish.
drink
Awesome.
local.
Sorry, I had to sell some beers real quick.
I want to shout out also Bush Light. Their local
That's a
brewery.
bush heavy.
That's a bush.
That
bro.
is a Bush heavy.
It's a full
My
bush.
bad. Yeah.
Well, I was
Drink
saying we've
'em
been
as you
drinking
got 'em.
bush latte up here.
Hey,
That's all they
I
drink
can-
up here is
I
bush
can,
latte.
I can equivocally say no one has been on the Bold Take with a bush heavy tall boy before. We make some outlandish claims around here, but I'm positive of that. I'm very positive.
I got a Bush Light small boy too. If you need
He's
one
got
of
a
those.
warm. My man just pulled a for those listening. At home, not watching, my man just pulled a warm Bush Light out of like the fucking TV cabinet.
Hey,
man,
I'm just
good.
glad. I'm just glad to see Nubz with a roof over his head because he showed up at the tailgate with an Amazon box full of warm Bush Lights, and I thought he was
Listen.
living in the woods there at the slab.
I'm in the
Oh, boy.
process of moving at this moment, so my life is kind of in shambles. So I just showed up to the tailgate with like 12 Bush Lights in the Amazon box, and Solly was like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" He took my beer and put them in a cooler.
It's
I
preseason.
couldn't. Yeah, it's preseason.
I was a little worried. I thought he was getting them delivered to the patch of woods behind the train track.
That's next level. Like you don't even have to bring your beers down. You're having them Amazon delivered there. I love it. That's
Oh yeah, I mean you
next
gotta
level
work smart.
tailgater.
We
You
got
gotta work
scooters and we
smarter,
got
not
beer
harder.
delivery.
Oh my goodness. All right. That's enough.
Love you, JB. I'm out
Love
of
you,
here.
Love
boys.
JB.
you, love you,
Love you,
See you
JB.
next week.
All right, boys. Appreciate y'all.
All right, man.